My questions are for Mrs. Taylor. For the following questions, please answer yes or no. Ms. Taylor, it's my understanding that CMS works with Medicare secondary payer recovery contractor that is responsible for determining what MSP payments are subject to recovery, issuing demand letters for this recovery, collection of MSP claims for beneficiaries, making initial determinations for waivers and appeals, amongst other responsibilities. So, a common complaint is the general delay in communication. Some say days, some say months. This delay is frustrating to everybody. Now, does CMS currently require the contractor to respond to communications, whether by mail, email, written correspondence from beneficiaries or attorneys within a specific timeline? Yes or no?
Yes.
You do. What is that timeline?
I believe it's 65 days.
Is it honored?
We do have workload issues that have created the inability for the contractor to get back.
I will be asking some information about that. Does CMS or the contractor collect data on the average response time in these communications? Yes or no?
I believe they do, yes.
Now, can you tell me what the average response time is? Submit that for the record, if you please. Now, a very similar complaint is the length of time it takes to identify the amount of MSP payments owed to CMS. Does CMS or the contractor collect data regarding the average time needed to identify and recover funds under the MSP program? Yes or no?
That's a difficult one to answer yes or no to. They do it whatever is based on the information in the system. So yes, they do it as quickly as they can. The problem is claims lag.
Would you submit that in greater detail for the record, please? Now, could you tell me what the average time might be?
I don't.
Please submit that for the record. Now, a further concern is the length of time it takes for beneficiaries and their attorneys to obtain a demand letter that informs the beneficiary and their attorney of the MSP claim. This delay impedes the ability of beneficiaries and their attorneys to move forward towards a settlement and again ultimately delays reimbursement to Medicare. Does CMS currently require the contractor to issue a demand letter within a specific timeline? Yes or no?
Yes.
You do. Now, would you submit for the record what that average response time is?
Yes.
Now, next question. In your opinion, Director Taylor, what is needed to improve the responsiveness of CMS and its contractors to beneficiaries and their attorneys? Is it a new contractor that is better equipped to handle these claims, or is it the need for additional funding and personnel to manage the caseload? Finally, another concern raised by a witness on the second panel, Mr. Salm of Publix, is the inefficiency of pursuing smaller claims. His testimony cites the example of Medicare pursuing cases as small as $1.59. Now, I'm just a poor Polish lawyer from Detroit, but even I know that staff time used to collect a claim here for $1.59 would far exceed the recovery. Question: does CMS have in place a threshold for MSP recovery?
We do not, but we are looking at that. Yes.
Do you think that that's something that you ought to do? Because you may be wasting money and flailing around trying to collect money that, frankly, is far too small to confer any benefit on you in view of the costs.
We are looking at that, absolutely. We think we can establish a threshold. I will comment, though, that it is an automated process. Once a beneficiary's case is identified and claims are identified associated with that case, it is an automatic generated bill. So it's not a manual process.
I'd like to have you make a submission for the record on that point. Next question. Does CMS have in place a threshold for MSP recovery? I think you've indicated that that's not, meaning that an MSP claim is, if it's less than the cost of staff time to collect, CMS or the contractor would not pursue. Yes or no?
That is correct.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I note that I have gone 19 seconds over.
I thank the gentleman emeritus of the full committee.
Hello.